For some of the player base of Magic the Gathering, right now the turmoil that Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are experiencing is a dream come true. One person's pain is another person's joy. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A big shout out because we are only 380 subscribers away from hitting the 14,000 subscriber mark. That means everyone who's been subscribing to my channel, it's really making a difference. To my regular viewers who tune into my content each and every day, for the people giving thumbs up and leaving comments in the comment sections, to my Patreon members who support this channel each and every month, and of course, my YouTube membership members, guys. This is a journey of a lifetime, and I'm lucky enough to get to share it with all of you. For some of the players of Magic the Gathering, what's going on right now with Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, the turmoil, the M30 anniversary debacle, this is all a dream come true for a lot of groups of players, but for very different reasons when you start looking and listening to what people are telling you. You have that one group of players who is just generally angry with Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, with everything they've done in the last few years, speeding up the cycles, adding new product lines, and I can understand that anger. Misery loves company, and they're glad to see that this slap to the face that Hasbro is going through right now, they think it's well-deserved, well-founded, they don't care. They just want to see something change. Rightfully so in a lot of cases. I understand that whole debate about having way too many product lines, and I'm with you on that in a lot of cases. I'm not quite as angry as some players, but I do understand where that anger comes from and why it's there. But there's another group of players, and those players are the ones who want the cards to be cheaper and more affordable. And when you see these reprintings happening, Double Masters 2022, when we saw fetch lands come back in Modern Horizons 2, those kind of people just want to see the prices come down. They want the game to be more affordable. For those players, this is probably a dream come true as well, because you wanted the cards cheaper, and right now, with all the craziness going on, the cards are slipping in price across the board. They are generally going down. And stores who are having to raise capital are having sales to try to get some of that money going, to get people to loosen up their wallets a bit. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole economic debate of what's affordable and what's not right now. I'm not going to touch on where the economy is. I'm not an economist. I understand recessions being thrown around a lot. I watch the news. I kind of know what's going like in my field of employment. I can see things going on, guys. I'm not blind to it. But for the conversation I'm having today, I want to focus on these areas of opportunity, of the anger, and what people are doing about it. Because depending on where so picture yourselves in a giant movie theater. The closer you are to that movie screen, the more you have to crane your neck, the more pain you're in. The people at the very back, they're the most distanced from any of these problems because they can see the whole theater. They've got a good, wide peripheral vision of everything, and they know where the exits are. You got the middle group of people who kind of can see the theater pretty good. They can't quite see the exits all the time, and they, but they're in a pretty good spot. But let's talk about those crane neck people. Those poor people in the theater are very uncomfortable, and they're looking up, and they're wondering what's going to happen next. Because when things go bad, they may not be in the best position to react well when cards go cheap, or when things become an opportunity for them. And by opportunity, I'm not talking about just being investable in cards, but maybe it's just a card you wanted. Maybe you were hoping to get 5-10 cards. And you didn't have a lot of cash, and now they're $10 cheaper, $5 cheaper. There's opportunity there. Even in the game itself, but not always from an investment standpoint I'm talking about. I'm just talking about cards you may want. There will be that ability to get these cards cheaper, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But you may not see it coming if you don't have that liquidity available, if you're having a tough time in your job, like we just said. Those middle ground people have been at this for a while. They don't really always see the exits, but they got the cards they want, and they're looking for a couple of good deals. They probably want to invest in a few of the Magic products, thinking that eventually they're all going to return to value, and they can afford to take some of those risks. And they're going to go in there, and they're going to buy some of these products. And they're going to be looking for the deals that they think will accelerate growth later on when things become more stable. Because everything going on right now will take Wizards time to react to. Okay? So those players are kind of starting to look at those ideas and decide which products are best suited to them. Probably some reserve list cards they're picking up at a really good deal. Maybe the odd dual land is finally becoming affordable for some of the players out there. And those middle ground people are well situated to be able to do some of that purchasing. But now we get to the people in the back. The back row people who've got the bird's eye view of everything. They've been here a long time. They got in, they got their seats, and they have been sitting for a while. They played the game before. They've seen the market go up and down, or they're older players with a very large disposable income. I'm not talking about whales who will go in and just do a buyout, but there are players out there who will be looking for key product lines to get into. They'll be looking for key reserve list cards that they think will bounce back, or they're after cards or collections they've always wanted to own, and they know that this is that opportunistic moment. This is probably the best chance they're going to have in the next 10, 12 years to get some of the cards they've always dreamed of getting. I myself am keeping a very close eye on cards from Arabian Nights in case they go cheap, and I may not be in the best position. I'm kind of like the middle ground person myself, but I can make things happen if I have to, right? You can do it if you really have to. As long as I don't put family and friends in trouble, that's how I kind of stick to it. But those people in the back, they're on a whole different level, and they're looking, and they know where the exits are. And they know how they're going to liquidate things, and they know how much risk tolerance they're going to take, and they know what generally they have a good feeling of what's going to happen. Maybe not perfectly, but they've been around the block a few times. And all those people in that theater are now shopping around. Some people, though, are in the lobby. Those are the angry people. They refuse to see this movie because there wasn't good seats available. They're just angry, and I get that. They're not seeing this movie. But for some people, this is a dream come true. Getting dual lands at a cheap price, awesome. And I saw the emails you guys have been sending and commenting about how you're getting some of these BGS rated cards really cheap, how you're getting some of these dual lands cheap. And I'm seriously, they look amazing. And I saw the prices you guys sent me. I saw the receipts. Awesome. Congratulations for all those players who are taking that moment and the risk to go in and get some cards that they have always wanted. So as much as this Wizards thing is going nuts for everyone, as horrible as it is, there are moments for some players to take advantage of a good deal. But remember, that's coming at the expense. Somebody else is in pain. Somebody else is in misery. But now that other person gets to have that moment of joy. Get in there, get the cards they wanted. Maybe they've always wanted to own some foil Birds of Paradise. Maybe they're a person who always wanted to get their first collector box, and now it's finally on sale at an LGS at a level that they are willing to tolerate. Some people are going for that first dual land. I know you sent me that photo with that Savannah for $180 heavily played. I think that's a great deal. I think that's amazing. And it didn't even look that heavily played. Only that one side. Amazing. When you start taking a look at these cards and those opportunities, we're not done yet. This is kind of like the beginning. Things have to unwind. We have to get past the previews and get to the main feature of the film and see what's actually going to happen. And I think a lot of that will happen at the end of December and into early January when the quarterly results are announced and we start into Q1 of 2023. Wizards can't react that quickly. Stores are kind of puttering along right now, and they've got Brothers War coming up with some awesome cards coming into that set, and we'll see how those sales are going to play out in the next week or so. I'll be keeping a really close eye on that, as well as following up on what Dominaria is going to start doing and see if there's a total switchover of the cards or if it's more gradual than that. I'll be very curious to see what the Hot 10 numbers are on the weekend. So when you start taking a look at that and those moments in time, this is definitely one of them where a player who is not too hard up for cash, right, has enough money in the bank to pay for everything and a few bucks on the side, maybe somebody who's just been shying away from other products, now has that chance to finish off a commander deck and actually save some money and getting some cards into their commander deck that they never thought they could. Maybe they're going just for a few key cards like Cabal Coffers. Maybe they've always wanted to get a Venerant Catacomb. Maybe there's just some of those cards that weren't available before because it's a little out of your price range, but maybe somebody's offering you a good deal. Maybe a store's having a no tax day to try to generate some revenue. There is some pain out there, but it will bring joy to others. And then those people at the back of the theater are watching and waiting. These aren't all whales. These are some people who just have the money and means and aren't doing anything yet. They're waiting to see how the market plays out and how the reactions come along. Magic the Gathering has never been more volatile than it is right now. And the reactions I'm seeing with some people saying, hey, I'm getting some good deals, and other people saying, I've had to sell my entire collection, I'm walking away. And then you have the people again in the lobby who are saying, this is all going to burn because of the mistakes that they're making. There's a whole gamut of player out there. There are some, from what you guys told me, who the market's not even reacting. Everything's just normal where you are. It just shows how big and wide this world is, and how wide-ranging Magic affects different areas of the planet that we're on. I can only react to the ones I'm getting information on. I can't react to what's happening in Spain, Australia, although I have a couple of guys in Australia who send me stuff. There's that kind of weird discrepancy between locations and prices, don't forget. Some of you guys may not be affected because your prices are much higher than in other areas. Or there might be more investors and collectors who more heavily vaulted into stuff. It's crazy to see what's going on. But it's not all doom and gloom for every player out there. For those of you guys sending those photos and flexing a bit and showing me some of those cool cards you've been buying, keep it up. I love to see what's being bought by people. And some of the cards like Soldevi Excavations, I keep tallies on those cards to see how many are actually bought and who controls them. I like to know where the market's at and how many actual copies are out there. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for being here on the channel, everyone. Thanks for sharing your opinions and comments with me. Keep it up. Are you a person right now taking advantage of the market and looking for those deals? And if a deal's good enough, you're going to dive in and buy some cards from the reserve list, maybe a sealed box, maybe just some singles you're just counting down to getting. I had to pick up some Brothers War singles because they were too cheap. I just can't believe they should ever be this cheap. I'm like, for $2-3 a card? I definitely did buy some cards from my local LGS because the price was awesome on the pre-release sales. I had to do it. I wonder how many of you guys are out there doing that sort of stuff too. Other than the fact money could be tight for various reasons, who out there is just waiting and holding and getting ready to buy again if a good deal comes along? Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for being here on the channel. I look forward to another video tomorrow. And of course, that big shout out goes to my fantastic patrons on the channel. Thanks again for that continued support you guys show me each and every day, each and every month. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Waiting. Interesting times. Waiting for any good deal to come along. I have to be honest, I'm really hoping some of my Arabian Nights cards get a lot cheaper. I still think the market is going to rebound. I think Wizards will do something or say something that will cause things to pivot. I think it just takes time for them to get their ducks in a row to make sure they've lined everything up. If they don't, hey, I'm wrong, that's okay. I'm still going to keep buying the cards. But I'm hoping this causes enough of a ruffling that the prices come down that I can pick up more than I normally would. There's always those opportunities out there. This is that moment where you're like, yep, I wonder if it's going to happen. Anyway, thanks for being here at the end of the video, guys. Thanks for chilling out with me. You know I like to see a boomstick in the comment sections. I like to make sure, everyone knows that Army of Darkness is an amazing film that you don't just watch at Halloween. It's part of a lifestyle. Can't help myself. Anyway, you guys have an awesome day out there. Be safe. Protect your friends and family. And then if you can, let me know what you guys think about all this stuff going on out there. I do care. All right, guys. Have an awesome one.